Hello, welcome
Hello.
everyone. Oh yeah, let's both start. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Look, it's a well-oiled machine here at Computer AF
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's why we make the big bucks. Welcome to episode 24, and there's so much more.
It's not
Um,
23. It's 24. Is it
it is
23?
24.
What did we you didn't what did you not the last time we did the show
I
did
just
you
looked it up. Yeah, I promise you it's 24. And again, we do a lot of research here, guys. We do a lot of research.
but
And
but my question is, did you for 23 have a snazzy one-liner that went along with it? Like it was on 21 there was something about how we were now legal. At 22 it was the deuce.
double
And now
deuce. Yeah.
what did you say for 23? Nothing. I guess this might not be anything
Maybe
good.
like a DNA joke, like a 23andMe joke. I don't know, honestly.
No, okay.
Someone hit us up in the comments if you have no life and you look it up.
Yeah, then you're the perfect fan of our show, and you fit right in. But yeah,
Exactly.
welcome to Computer AF. I'm John Boitnott, joined by the lovely
I'm
Anna Holt.
Anna Hull Ward.
Yeah, we are discoverers of all internet junk that ends up at the bottom of the insane asylum with all the other dead computers, and in other words, the latest tech news. And we have we have so much.
I'd go so far as to call it a cyber swamp, but
Yeah, yes. That sounds great to me. Well, we need to drain the cyber swamp. So let's start. Let's do that. And yeah, today the first thing you want to talk about is: do you want to talk about which one do you want to go first with? Can we go with Zuckerberg?
I mean, I know you. Do we want to start out with heroes or villains? I don't know. I feel like
At
this week there's
this
more
point, Ed, I
villains.
feel like they're all freaking villains. So it's just maybe one that's the least villainous.
I would say let's start with the most innocuous, which is the rumors about the Apple search engine, which I
Oh,
am
yeah.
personally helping promote because I just want it. I want to know what Apple's take on a search engine would look like. And I think, reasonably speaking, there are so many components that are already there that they have with like the ability to be a direct challenge to Google. So I feel like they've got Safari, they've
Yeah,
got the App Store, they've
yeah.
got Maps, they've got news, they've got TV entertainment, they've got multiple ad products already. And then now, I think next week's announcement, Tuesday's announcement, is likely to include enhancements to Siri. And so the rumors kind of sparked from that possibly Siri might be getting an LLM heavy upgrade, which I think anyone who's actually tried to use Siri would understand it needs. So, I mean, it's right there. And as I've said before, Google is a search engine that wants to be an LLM. ChatGPT is an LLM that wants to be a search engine. And so this is really where Apple would have a chance to converge. And it's such a huge entity, they would have the resources to do it. Um,
Yeah, I mean, my
a
thing
broken
is,
drink.
yeah, like, haven't they thought about this before a million times? Didn't they have the opportunity to buy somebody small and make it bigger? I mean, why do that now? Why not just like buy into one that exists, or is it
I
sort of
mean,
what? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
they have done that, and that they have taken a lot of money, and this dovetails into our other story. This they've taken a lot of money from Google in order to have the exclusivity of that browser being Google when they ship their Apple computers, which
Mhm.
is what actually takes us to our next story. The Google monopoly decision
Right.
came down this week from federal court Judge Mehta, and he essentially said, "Yeah, this is a monopoly. Yeah, this isn't good, you guys. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Bad, bad,
His last
bad.
name was Meta. The judge's last name was Meta.
Yes, MEHTA. Yes."
Oh wow.
Um, and so he basically said, "Your search, you have to give up your data to your competitors." As a way to
Right.
even the playing field. And then you can't have these exclusive relationships anymore. So if
Right.
Google is not Apple's out of the box solution, how else would Apple maintain control if not by shipping?
Ah, I see. So that's partly
This
what has caused the rumors that Apple might be interested in coming up with its own search engine. Well, I mean, one of the things about that lawsuit is it would take, the countersuit or however, it will take like 2027 or 2028 for any of that to actually like go through, that they would have to do it. And maybe they'll be able to come up with something that nullifies it before then. So we'll see. I mean, who knows exactly what it's going to look like. For me, it's my general sort of feeling about the whole entire field is that, I mean, why pick on just Google? Why not why only break up Google? Why can't you break up like Elon Musk and have SpaceX be separated from Tesla, and why can't and X, and why can't you separate all of Microsoft's businesses? And like, why does Google have to be the one that gets picked on? You telling me that Google is the one that's like violating antitrust more than any of these other companies? I was just, why not break up Amazon, break up its web services with its shopping? I mean, why not just break up everybody? But unfortunately, the thing is they are like the reason why the economy is actually able to still keep its head above water. And so I don't know if it's safe to break up any companies now at this point.
I think it's their target because of AI overviews and how that really gutted content creation and journalism and news. And I think it was a very high profile application of what AI overviews and AI search is doing to cannibalize traffic, and how they threw their weight around egregiously with that change. I mean, they forced it on us. We had no choice. You have to use AI overviews, and
It's true.
content creators are getting rated essentially. And so I think enough people got angry. I think they inspired the most anger. I mean, there's no shortage of anger on our naughty list this week.
Yeah. There is
John's
no
naughty. Yeah, there is no nice list. You're all naughty. Yeah, I mean, there's CEOs behaving badly. But I think Google is just so egregious in their lack of even caring what they're doing to the people that, by the way, they depend on. They depend
Yeah.
on these news sites. They depend on these content sites. Without content on the rest of the web, what does Google have, right? So they're benefiting so much more than a lot of other companies from what they didn't create, while not really paying any of it back at all or pretending to. And I think that's why they
I
made
mean, you
themselves.
can make an argument. You can make these types. I think that's a great argument. I agree with it, in fact. But I think you can make this type of argument with with every other FANG company, right? With all the
For
FANGs.
sure.
So
Oh yeah.
it is what I think it's. I wish something would happen, but nothing's going to happen. But yeah, no. I mean, I just yesterday or the day before yesterday, I don't know. They all bleed together now. I had a conversation with a fellow content creator. That's all I will call him. You know him though, and basically just talking about how we're just sort of wondering how long it's going to take before people stop even caring whether or not people write the stuff that they read online anymore, and to what extent they currently care, and which content they actually do want to see written by a human, and which content they could care less. And there's, it varies right now. There are many subtle levels of caring whether or not the thing's written by a human now at this point. And we kind of, who knows how long it's going to take before we get to the point where we just don't care anymore. I was kind of wondering what you thought of that
I
whole.
mean, you create more content and are an active journalist, right? So
Yes.
I definitely, you know, I see how it affects you and how it affects our colleagues and publications, and that really devastates me on a certain level, that because I'm a person who reads the news and loves the news and watches the news, and was raised to read newspapers and really keep informed, and it's harder and harder to do that when the truth doesn't seem to matter, and the AI slop is everywhere.
Yeah.
I do think there will be a counterbalance to this. I do think in their infinite wisdom, Google is aware of it. They have rolled out some algo updates. I always try to think of these situations as a pendulum. We're on one end of the extreme. The thing is, I don't think we've hit the backswing on this yet. I think we're
Yeah.
still in the we're still in the air.
Well,
Um, you
that's part
know,
of the thing. We just don't quite know what yeah, like we don't know what the backswing is. We don't know where it's going to end and then come back again. We just don't know what the appetite is, what people want. Really, it seems like.
Where does this where do we reach, I guess the other term is inflection point. When do we reach that
Yeah.
where people just sort of say enough? I mean, I saw a really successful product that came out recently. I have to look up the name of it, but it was a phone for kids to keep them off of mobile phones. It's called the Tin Can. It's a it's a landline for kids that works over Wi-Fi, and it looks like an actual phone. And so there are these things like Oasis is having the best year of their life since the mid 90s. Like
Yeah.
there are sort of these old is new again sort of trends that we're going to see, and I think we're going to see maybe a resurgence in reading books. Maybe there's going to I think that when
Yeah.
people get to that screw this level, then they're going to swing back and that will become cool again to read books. I don't
Well,
know how
yeah.
long.
No, I have a friend from Fresno who flew all the way to London, England, to see, or not London, like Birmingham, to see Oasis in some giant stadium there, and it was she loved it. She had a great time.
Gen Z loves Oasis, and I think
They're liking
I
Madonna too because it's one thing I've noticed. I'll talk to a Gen Zer and they're like, "Oh, Madonna's great," and then I'll talk to a millennial and they'll be like, "Eh, you know, too cool for Madonna." Okay, thanks, millennials. I'll never forgive them.
isn't isn't it Gen Z that does the stare? Isn't that their thing?
The stare. Oh yeah, yeah, that's yeah, that. Yes, partly out of the fact that they spent some years, their formative years, not being around lots of people, and so they're starting to normalize kind of some. I don't want to say autistic. I mean, I have a touch of autism myself, so I understand what it's all about. But yeah, they kind of bring some stuff that might be considered oddball or dorky or maybe inappropriate, and they kind of bring some of that to the table and are making it more appropriate. So I'm kind of happy
I'm trying
about
to
that.
do the face.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. And to speaking of inappropriate and not always, fitting the social situation, Elon Musk. Well,
Great
one
segue.
thing, woo, one thing I was going to say when you're talking about like not knowing exactly where we're going to end up. Well, one thing we're always going to know is that Elon Musk is going to get a whole lot of money during that time, no matter when it is. Um, Tesla. So I found this on a friend's Snapchat. I didn't actually even like look it up on online. Tesla proposed, but it's from Forbes, so it must be reputable. Tesla proposes compensation plan for Musk that could be worth as much as 1 trillion. Uh, yeah, to receive the maximum, he would be required to increase the market cap and some other. There's some other things that he would have to do. But and then my friend put the picture of Doctor Evil. Doctor
One
Evil.
million dollars. Yeah.
And yeah. So anyway, what are your thoughts about our glorious best friend Elon Musk? My favorite, always my favorite.
Oh, I'm not gonna dull your sparkle on this one. This is all you. This is like I'm
No, I
out
don't.
of I'm out of what's to give on this man.
I
I
think
just
anything. I think I'm cooked as well. And the
what the kids are saying.
what the kids are saying. Any opinion that I would come out with at this point would be cooked. It's just like you've heard it from me once, you've heard it from me 1,000 times. If he had any type of morality at all, he wouldn't be taking nearly as much money as he's taking. And I could list about a dozen awful things from drug addiction to why don't you just go have 13 more kids and we can never find out who their mothers are either. I could like say a million things, and all you need to do is just give me the Gen Z stare. So I don't have too much more to say on that. Just $1 million.
Yeah, I just think I'm ready just for him to go into a getting it done montage and to stop doing press and stop
You're the
like
best around. Nothing's
go
ever
do
gonna shake you down. You're the best. Yeah.
go do like a year-long 80s montage where you're just
Yeah.
like inventing more stuff and
Yeah.
leave us alone.
Go go help the guy who needs the stuff in his head. That guy. The bleep,
Yeah,
Neuralink.
yeah, the
Or as I
Neuralink gamer guy. Yeah,
help him
he's
out. Do nice things. work with the solar. Try and convince your buddy Trump that solar isn't evil. And
I don't know where that's going, but I don't even pretend to understand the dynamics there. But I mean, I think there's just no shortage of villains this week. We've got
sorry,
no. I'm trying to keep track of all of our grudges. I think the other one
I don't
that
know.
the
You
other
better.
one that you told me that was fantastic was the Mark Zuckerberg. That I thought was hilarious.
Oh, that was cute. Yeah, here I've got this right sent. There it is, right there. Lawyer named Mark Zuckerberg sues Meta, not to be confused with the judge who was in charge of the
Yes,
Google
different
lawsuit.
spelling.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, with different spelling. Lawyer named Mark Zuckerberg sues Meta after repeated account shutdowns over claims he's impersonating the billionaire founder. It's offensive. Um, yeah, marking his territory in the most meta way possible. That's the first line of the story. An Indiana lawyer who shares the name Mark Zuckerberg is suing Meta after the social media platform repeatedly shut down his personal and business profiles, claiming he was impersonating Zuck. He's an Indianapolis bankruptcy lawyer. He has battled mistaken identity issues on Facebook for 15 years, sharing a name with the billionaire creator. His verified personal account has been shut down 5 times after losing $11,000 in ad funds to Meta when his law firm's page was taken down in May for the 4th time. He's taking his fight to court. I would read more, but I don't want to.
Wow. I mean,
So they took my money, but then after they took my money, they shut me down for what they say is impersonating a celebrity, not using a true name, and violating their community standards. And it's the same message I get every time they shut me down. He filed his lawsuit Tuesday in Marion Superior Court, accusing Facebook's parent company of negligence and breach of contract. This is according to the New York Post, by the way. This is the New York Post. He said his Facebook page was first deactivated in 2010, and every time since, he's had to endure a painfully long appeals process, including submitting photos of himself, his license, and his credit cards to prove he's a real person who hasn't violated the platform's policies and get his accounts restored. I think it's offensive that a company that is supposed to be so tech savvy in the world can't figure out how to flag my account and keep this from happening, says Zuckerberg, who has practiced bankruptcy law for 38 years. So he's a little bit older.
I mean, good for him fighting the power. I feel for him in the way that I feel for people with the last name Epstein
Ew.
or Weinstein. You know what I mean? Like, I feel
Yeah.
for people who share a name that are innocent with somebody who is not. You know what I mean? That's very high profile, gross. In this case, it's just sort of annoyance, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're trying to put your name out there, and I'm sure he gets giggles.
Yes.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, nice to meet you. What was your name? Mark Zuckerberg. Like, I'm sure that at that point you've got to go the route of like a Michael B. Jordan route where you're like, no, 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 different guy. I'm Michael B. Jordan.
Mm.
Which has worked for him, but I think
He's
I
Michael B.
kind of
Jordan, though. Like, he's the only thing better than Michael B. Jordan is 2 Michael B. Jordans in one movie.
exactly. Go see Sinners if you haven't already. It's a
Yeah, so
fine
good.
film.
Yeah.
Well, go see it in your living room because it's not in the theaters. But it's a
HBO
great
Max.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
HBO. There's no
but I
Max.
feel for
I've
this
never heard of
guy
Max.
because this has to have been frustrating. Like, I feel for him in that he's legitimately right in that he went through the process that they provided. They just didn't like it. They just
Yeah.
didn't want to share. He wants to be the only Mark Zuckerberg. And they just weren't sporting about it, and I get his frustration. I don't know that he's gonna get anywhere, but I like that he's trying because it's just a principle thing, right? Like,
I like
I feel
TechCrunch. The way TechCrunch reported on the story was that classic meme of the two Spider-Mans going like that. And it
oh, I
says
love
Mark
that one. Yeah.
it says Mark Zuckerberg sues Mark Zuckerberg. That's a
Which
cute title.
ironically is so meta, right? Like, that's that's fantastic though. I like that he's doing it because why should he have to go by his initial? Why should he have to do that? You know what I
Right?
mean? You're
Yeah.
born with the name you're born, and if you want to keep it, you get to keep it, and that's how society works. So I can understand that he's had a bad digital time, and we're
Yeah.
sorry, lawyer Mark Zuckerberg.
Another one said, "What's in a name?" An Indianapolis attorney, Mark Zuckerberg, suing Meta over repeated Facebook suspensions. Yeah, there's a lot of good little headliners here. Mark Zuckerberg is sued by a different Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. Anyway, How about the Anthropic story? You had mentioned that they had their whole copyright issue. What was the story with Anthropic and the copy? Bring us up to date on that and what's going
So,
on.
absolutely. So, Anthropic, much like other LLMs, has been caught taking copyrighted information, and they had a major class action suit because they were scraping book content. And so people came through, and they have had to make the largest payout in history of United States copyright law.
Really? How
One
much?
point $1.5 billion settlement.
Oh, it was billion. I thought you said million earlier when we talked before the show, and I'm like,
No,
that's
1.5
typical.
billion class action
Million.
lawsuit. Yes,
Yeah,
1.5 billion that a group of authors brought against Anthropic. So this is essentially a win, you would think, for the
you'd think.
authors, but it's really, the articles I've read on it have basically said, well, yeah, they can come up with that cash. Also, they can still appeal it.
Yeah.
But the idea, I think, here is that they have gained more from having this data than the money. They can make up the money, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so everybody kind of,
Parking ticket.
well, exactly. So they pirated millions of books, and they did it by using shadow libraries and fed that into their AI. And in this lawsuit, all the companies that sued, um, they're not. It's just a slap on the wrist, is I think what the net of it was, because it's not like they're gonna undo the use of this in these models and libraries. Like they're gonna keep using it. Um,
Just no good
but
guys in the day now, Ann.
right, and so
Feels like Mark
they
Zuckerberg,
have.
the lawyer Mark Zuckerberg. Anyway,
I would love it if lawyer Mark Zuckerberg could maybe get into copyright law and file against Anthropic, and then the internet would break itself because it would be
wait,
Mark Zuckerberg.
what,
Um,
what, I keep on thinking of Sarah Silverman. Didn't she like file a lawsuit against one of these companies?
oh,
I
for voice impersonation, I think.
Was that a voice thing? Okay, no, no,
I
that
don't
was
remember.
the woman from Marvel. That was what is her name? She married the guy from Saturday Night Live. She played Black Widow in the Marvel movies. She's the one who did the
Scarlett
voice.
Johansson, I think, was the voice one. I think they used a
Sarah,
likeness of her voice.
Sarah Silverman, at some point sued some of these people to try and get some money, and they threw her out of court. And it's just like, well, why? Frankly, I think there needs to be some kind of model in place
Well,
where the
this
amount.
is.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
like
Go ahead.
no, that's okay. Just like the amount that you have been used by Anthropic, they should be paying you in perpetuity and your estate and the estate of 9 generations down for having like learned what they learned. Because there's, like you pointed out, they're still continuing to use all the information that they bilked from you, that they stole from you forever and ever and ever. Amen. Why can't they still have to pay you forever and ever and ever? Amen. Until that's fixed, I'll never be a fan of these companies. What are you going to do?
Well, the thing is, they got a decision. Anthropic got a decision in their favor in June, where a judge said this is a fair use case. This is a transformative case because you're not just taking the content from the book and putting it on your website. You're doing enough with it that this should be considered fair use. And that decision came down in June. So I think that was probably, they were hoping that would be held up in this case, but it didn't go that way. But again, it's business as usual because they're just going to pay the fine. They're going to argue it down in appeals, and then they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. And that's true of all of these. I mean, OpenAI got called out pretty hard by Tim O'Reilly for stealing books. So I know this book that I wrote and spent
SEO is a
I
battlefield.
spent a year of my life
The
writing.
only SEO book out there with its own theme song,
Exactly.
sung by Pat
Exactly.
Bennett. Well,
Exactly.
look, yeah, I mean, I have a hand gesture for you, and it's one that
Oh,
you first showed me, and I'm not able to do it because it's an impolite hand gesture. But yeah, it was it mimics that something, and yeah, so that's what I think about all these companies and everything they're doing, and it's what are you going to do? What about bric-a-brac? That's what I have to say. What about bric-a-brac? Oh,
gosh,
do we have more? Do we have more
No,
stories left? We
no,
got
that
it.
was it. We're cooked. We're cooked.
We got the Google Apple diorama, and then we got
Yeah, we've really
Elon and
unleashed a rage, a fury on these companies. You've been put on notice,
yes,
guys.
an unaffected limp rage of whatever. It's fine.
Look, I'm
Maybe
Canadian.
yours is effective. You're cogent and well put together. Me, I'm just like bleh at this point because I know
I'm
nothing I do is going to change anything.
I would like to think that I can make some positive change, if only to inform people of what's going on, and that's what
That's
we're
true.
doing here. We're winning hearts and minds by
You're not
informing.
100% cooked, babe. We're like
Thanks.
only mostly
I'm
cooked.
el dente.
Yeah, you're al dente. Me, I'm like blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
It's just yeah.
So I am happy to kick off Bric-a-Brac with what I've been watching actually last night, because it just came out, is the new Peacock show, The Paper, which was billed as a sort of sequel of sorts, or a legacy show in line with The Office, which is one of the most beloved shows in modern history. People quote The Office all the time, memes from galore. I mean, all those cast members have done well, whether it's in endorsement deals, movie deals. I mean, come on.
Oh,
They're
my
they're
the latest Office reference that I saw was just a few days ago. It was because Gavin Newsom is just like making fun of Trump and holding a mirror up to Trump and here ludicrous he is, etc. And that's exactly what Jim did to what's his name,
Dwight.
yes, to Dwight. So you probably saw it too, and he like showed up looking just like Dwight, and he out Dwighted Dwight to Dwight's face, and Dwight was like, "Identity theft is an issue, Jim."
Yeah, he couldn't handle it, and he was a horrible sport about it, which made it that
Yes.
much better. Yeah, so
Yes, and that much more
essentially,
appropriate. Yeah.
exactly. So essentially, this show is it's to, and my husband Val, he called it. He called it. He said, "Wait, this is more like Parks and Rec."
Yeah.
So, sort of similar mockumentary style, right? So they had
Yeah.
like a kind of a loving lead in to it, where they were, they had someone from the other show talk about what happened to the company, and they led you into it, and there was this sort of tie-in. So they mentioned, they name checked Dunder Mifflin, and then they
Did
kind
they
of carried
really?
you. Yeah, and so they kind of carried you into it, and then they carried in
This is
one
the paper
cast
in Scranton.
member. No, they moved it to Toledo, and it's a different
Okay.
building, all different people except for Oscar.
Which one's Oscar? Sorry, I wasn't the biggest Office head, although I did
Oscar
enjoy it.
was the accountant. He was the accountant who carried on a torrid affair with Angela's closeted political senator, state senator husband.
Okay.
Um, and he was a fun character, a little bit evil, but a little bit sweet. Kind of the voice of reason, adult person. So they carried him into the show. So I would definitely recommend giving it a watch. They put all the episodes out there, which I always appreciate.
Massive appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. To quote
Our
the great
Instagram.
Chad Goes Deep, yes,
Yeah.
mad appreciate for that, because if you really are into a show, then you can kind of keep into it. I watched a few episodes. I would say that they definitely need to find sort of what those main character arcs are. They sort of, you could tell they were all kind of just, it was like a spaghetti at the wall character buffet, where they were like, oh, this is the weird one. This is the one that does weird things to mess with people. This is the
Spaghetti
one
at the
that's
wall character
hapless.
buffet. I've got to write that down actually. Spaghetti at the wall character buffet. That's a good one.
Yeah, and that's essentially what I felt it. Yeah, and that's really what it was. Is they were like, and you're kind of like, ooh, are you the Stanley? You're the Stanley. No, you're the Jim. You're the Dwight. Got it. And they
Yeah.
didn't make it feel like a carbon copy, but it definitely felt like a 20 years later, rinse and repeat, thrown with like a heavy, heavy dash of Parks and Rec. So if you like Parks and Rec and
Yeah,
The
I saw
Office,
some of that. I like that. Yeah.
you will like this show if you like both of those shows. Um,
Parks and Rec is really famous for Patton Oswalt showing up on the show and being somebody who actually almost shot for shot described the return of Boba Fett, which eventually became what happened with Boba Fett on the actual show that they did. But yeah, it's Parks and Rec, very important show in the
for
history
me,
of.
it was Aziz Ansari and Treat Yourself.
Yes, Yes, treat yourself.
Treat yourself. I love that. I
For
love
those of
that.
us who have trouble actually really treating ourselves, it's a good reminder to treat ourselves.
You should treat yourself
We really
always.
should. Well, for me, well, that's good that you like that
So
show.
what have you been watching?
Well, I tried to get it since the last time we talked. I tried to get into the pit, but like I think I
Mm,
explained to you, I think I just about had a panic attack within the first 10 minutes, so I had to stop and I moved on. Um, I have been doing the show Peacemaker on Max, or let's call it HBO on HBO, which is a part of the Marvel, universe, and James Gunn is doing it, and it has a great freaking song. I need to send you the song. There's a song by this group called something Foxy. I forget what it is, but I need to send it to you. And
okay.
because the song is just kicks ass. It's only like an 8-year-old song. A lot of the music on there is really good. It's like it's like 80s hair band music, 90s hair band music. So I know that you'll be a fan, and some
Thumbs
of you
up.
will. So yeah, but a lot of it's sort of like deep cut B side kind of stuff. It's not like, and the artists too. They're not the most famous artists, so it's good. The show's funny. It's a good show. I know some DC people who love the hell out of it, and has John Cena in it, and he plays the main character. It's good. It's fun. And then there's a show on Netflix called Weak Hero, which is a Korean show. It's about high school kids who are in gangs beating up each other, and it's great, good violence. I'm enjoying that. It's the whole thing where like high schoolers, but they're played by 28-year-olds. Anyway, and they're Korean, so it's interesting. There's a lot of good Korean shows on Netflix. There's a lot of good Korean shows in general. And then and then there's the Billy Joel
Oh,
documentary.
as it goes, yeah.
Yeah, and so it
And so
goes.
it goes. And so it
I,
goes. Yes.
I got through the first one. That was great. I mean, it's 6 hours of Billy Joel, really.
I felt like
So,
the second part could have just maybe an hour. Just take out
yeah,
maybe an hour. Once it was after Christy Brinkley, I was like, yeah, I'm good.
yeah. Because the rest of his life and everything is a little less interesting. But yeah, I'm
It was
actually am
self-indulgent.
just getting to that part right now. He hasn't broken up with Christy Brinkley just yet. But and there's a lot of things about his life I just didn't realize. So it was really good. If you're interested in Billy Joel at all, or want to know anything about the way music business industry works, that's the one to go through. Billy Joel's just a badass. Like, he had the chance before he broke it big. He had the chance to work with George Martin, the Beatles producer, and have George Martin be his producer. And he didn't end up. He said, "No, I don't want to work with him," because he wanted to get rid of Billy Joel's band. Billy Joel wanted his own band. He didn't want like Elton John's band. Essentially, that's
He was
what George
like
Martin wanted to do.
sensitive, yeah, and was
Yeah,
understandably sensitive to the comparison, and then funny enough, toured with him later.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
Sir Elton,
Yes. Yeah, all the way later down the line, 30 years later. Yeah, it's Billy Joel's like sort of a tough guy, and he's but it's
so I
still
actually
smoking
have a
cigars.
picture of Elton John in my bathroom.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no, love Elton John. So
I have a
many
maximalist bathroom, and which means I put as much crap on the walls as I want.
a maximalist bathroom, huh?
Yeah, it's the style right now, which we're calling for gallery walls and just a bunch of bright crap that makes you feel good.
Mm,
I
I
saw
do.
this in a
Well,
record store in Toronto, and I had to have it.
nice. Yeah, that's great. Love Elton John. Him and I like him a little more than Billy Joel.
I
But
would have
that's
really liked. I hope they will tour again someday. I know Elton said no more tours, but if there was any kind of, I would fly somewhere within the U.S. definitely if they were going to play together again.
that. Yeah, that would be worth doing. I mean, Neil Young is great too. It's too bad we can't get you to Neil Young for the concert in the Bay Area. It happened already, right? It's already happened. I don't know.
No, it's coming up in like a
Switching.
week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but I really Neil I saw in Toronto and was very into him. I think he still got it. I would say it was kind of hilarious how he wouldn't let them serve regular snack bar food. He had a mandate of non-GMO food only, so they had
Is there
crudité,
anything?
crudité and hummus.
Oh, nice.
They had popcorn with no salt or butter.
Wow.
They had gone so far as to take the salt out of the snack bar where you get your fixings for the hot dog, and they only had pepper in the snack bar.
Wow.
And I felt like it was really hard on the staff because after I went up with my nephews and we were all like, oh, we can't get the, chicken poppers and the pizza and the junk stuff on here. The guy's like, I'm going to tell you right now, there's none of that. You could just tell you could, and then the people after us, same thing, and then the people after them, same thing. So you
Oh
could just
yeah.
feel for the staff
Mhm.
of what it did to them as like these people
Oh
that are
yeah.
partying are just coming up and being like,
Yeah, just decimated. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I was like, wow,
He ain't
really. I
messing around.
Well, maybe because he's Canadian and grew up outside of Toronto and went to school in Toronto as a kid. Maybe he just felt like he would be heard. I don't know if he's doing that for the whole tour, but I found that really interesting.
Mm.
I've never had an artist mandate the food at a concert, but if he anyone can do it, he can do it. He can command
Yeah.
that, especially in his hometown.
No, for sure. If you want to hear Needle and the Damage Done, you've got to pay the price by being healthy.
Exactly. Mind your sodium intake, your cholesterol, your GMOs. Neil knows what's best.
Yeah, so no, for me, the other things that are going on, I football season is here. First football games are now taking place. College football is back, and professional football is back.
Oh
So that's
yes.
exciting for me. That means another year of heartache and hope for the for me and the 49ers. And this weekend, I have planned. I'm going to Clooney's to visit Monty, and I'm going to. A friend is leaving Whole Foods, so I'm going to go hang out with a bunch of Whole Foods friends and send off that friend who's leaving Whole
I
Foods.
think that sounds awesome. I think Texas football. We had a bit of a rough start with our
Book
first
of
game.
Horns.
Our
Sorry.
first game was against one of our biggest rivals, who's ranked number 3, versus us as number 1, out of state away game. And I think Manning has had a lot of hype, and it's very hard to live up to all that hype in your family name. So I think it's going to be
Oh
an
yeah.
interesting season. But we were favored to win as number 1 NCAA team, and I don't know that that's how this is going to look now. And if it had been a complete shutout, I probably would have lost my will to live. But since it wasn't, we just had kind of a shaky start. I do, however, I don't know if you noticed, when football starts, spooky starts.
This is true. Yeah, your favorite time of year. I'm pretty sure that this is your favorite time of year.
It's definitely the decorative holiday season.
Yeah, you're in your happy time right now. That's
Yes,
good.
I can bring out all my bric-a-brac and whatnots and dingle dongs
Bric-a-brac.
and
Awesome.
my little like, oh look, I'll put this on my wreath. Oh,
And wait, yeah, I think that what's going to happen is so this was number 24, and by the time we get to 25, it's going to be full bric-a-brac Halloween mode.
cobwebs and glitter and yeah, I'm
Yeah,
easing into it.
spiders. And, yeah.
I'm trying
Well,
to have some self-restraint.
yeah. We will, of course, for that show, our big headlines will be about how Anthropic is giving money away to the poor, and Elon Musk has decided to help the homeless in San Francisco. And oh wait, none of that's going to happen. But still, um, yeah, we'll be there for the 20. That'll be the 25th. This is the 24th.
Our God, I can't think of anything funny. I guess I'm tired. But
We're not allowed to have coffee later in the day like this, so we have to be
I
good.
know we can't do caffeine after a certain time because we're of a certain age. But don't think we're not having fun. So thank you
Yeah.
everyone for joining us today. And
Thank
if
you
you
for
made it to
having
this
us.
point, if you made it to this point, you're a saint. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and thank you, Grit Daily, for being Grit Daily, and our sponsor, and looking forward to number 25. Woohoo! See ya.